welcome back to Doom 2016. We just finished going through the Titan's Realm, which is a level that exists in the game, and that takes us to this level, which is the Necropolis. We're here to find the Crucible, which is kind of what we were doing in the last level, but the last level is basically just traversal, because you just go through the level to get to this level, I guess, which is kind of weird. But anyways, I really like the aesthetic design of the hell levels in this game. It's all good. I can already tell because I'm like, we're re-recording this because the last take that we did went places that both of us agreed were not where we wanted to go. So we're re-recording this video. So if the energy's a bit off, this is why.
I'm still in my infancy stage when it comes to recording YouTube. I think I'm an expert once I finish like one podcast. I'm like, that went great. And then here I am humbled again by experience.
Yeah. That's how it happens, man. You know, you can never... expertise is not real. There's just the learning process repeated over and over again.
It's true.
One must imagine Sisyphus happy.
Oh no. That's how people learn about compromise. I just imagine Sisyphus like with a big Walmart smile on his face, being like, I love pushing up this rock forever.
Well, you know, if he's not happy, then why is he doing it?
Man, let's get into that. Let's break down some mythology.
I mean, I know that it was like a punishment from the gods or whatever. I'm just saying, like, did he have to do it? Or did the gods put him on a hill with a rock and he just made the connection?
I feel like the implication is he has to push it up. But no, you're right. Maybe no one told. Maybe that's the joke, you know? The gods are playing a joke on this poor hapless mortal. Was Sisyphus immortal? Immortal?
I assume so.
I mean, I guess everyone's immortal technically in Greek mythology if they have an afterlife, but...
No, I know what you said, and I understand what you mean. I don't know.
The point is, gods are dicks in, like, all mythology. They're just awful.
Extremely true. Yeah, so that's cool. Anyways. I don't know.
So the Hellwalker and the Doomslayer are the same person.
Yes, this is... there's a lot of synonyms going on with Doom Guy. He has a lot of titles. He's the CEO boss man of Killing Demons, so he's got a different title for everywhere he goes.
So he's got to be all verbose about it, or at least the person writing about him does.
Yeah, exactly. He's not verbose. Doomslayer doesn't care. He is the opposite of verbose. He says nothing throughout this entire game. He has nothing to say. But the dudes that are like really worried about him kicking their ass, they have a lot of names for him. Which, you know, not to go down a dark path, I feel like is kind of true in reality as well. People are less likely to give like cool titles to people they care about, and they're more likely to give like horrible, gnarly titles to people that they hate.
Now I'm trying to put myself in Doom Guy's shoes. If I were a famous demon slayer and I had some weird guy following me around, scribing all of my actions through my life, would I be Would I be? I mean, I feel like I would be upset at his verbosity. I'd be like, just please shut up, sir. But I'm not Doom Guy. The guy following him around is not an evil demon murdering everyone, so he has no reason to murder. Doom Guy is here to fight for our rights. You know what I mean? No matter how stupid we are. God bless you, Doom Guy.
He's there to kill demons, and that's it. He doesn't.
The lesson we should learn from this is we should all be a little bit more like Doom Guy. When your superior officer orders you to fire on civilians, as is his backstory in Doom 1, right?
Yeah.
And he refuses, and then Doom 1 begins. Just be more like Doom Guy.
Yeah.
You may be condemned to fighting demons for all eternity, but you know what's? It's way better than shooting civilians.
Again, here's the thing. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Is Doom Guy condemned to fight demons, or does he love fighting demons? He's just happy to keep doing it.
Yes. See, that's weird, though, because you're implying that there is, like, some free will going on here. And I'm not going to try to say that there's no free will here, but this seems like the whole red pill, blue pill thing, where it's like, well, you could do red pill, which is the truth, or you could do blue pill, which is go back to sleep. And it's just like, who's going to pick the blue pill? Is that really a choice?
Joey Pants takes the blue pill, or he wants to, after he takes the red pill.
And that's like I think that's the anti-Sisyphus argument.
Yeah. That's the thing, is he was like, this sucks actually, I want to stop doing this. Which, is a reasonable conclusion to come to, I think. But
it's like getting sucked into working for a pyramid scheme. You're like, wait, how much money could I make doing this? And then the truth happens.
Exactly, yeah.
Not that I have experience with pyramid schemes.
No.
Just experience with working for various corporations.
Yeah. When I turned 18, I did get a letter from a company that wanted me to sell knives, and I didn't do it.
Yeah, I think I have a friend who may have worked for that exact same company, and it was an awful time for him.
That sounds about right.
He would go from door to door, and no one would buy his stuff, and he had to memorize this whole pitch, and he didn't make any money. He just spent money buying knives.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. I don't really look at him, but there's a hanging up Baron of Hell in there, which is also a reference to a Doom texture, where you're going to go fight the Cyber Demon. There's a bunch of Barons of Hell all on the walls. And yes, I know, this arena is a reference to Dead Simple. Obvious. I feel like I almost don't even have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. Because there might be fake Doom fans in the audience that need to know.
But we can't make assumptions about our audience. We've learned this lesson.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. So, great. Now people are going to want a director's cut. They're going to want the outtakes and bloopers. And I'm like, guys.
Andre the Giant gif where he's in the ring and he's backing up. Going, no.
For all you audience members who are curious about the director's cut and the outtakes and bloopers, believe me, guys, it sucks.
It was not that good. I mean, none of these videos are that good, so it's true.
Yeah, but that one's like bad.
Yes, that's true. That one went places that killed the momentum of the video. Although I did like talking about Fred Durst, but we're not going to repeat the conversation. There's nothing to say.
It's true. I feel like there's plenty to say about Fred Durst, but not from that angle.
No, and my point is the time has passed. You let the topic happen organically, which is sometimes a problem, I guess.
We should do another recording of this episode where we try to do the first one, but better with the same conversation, but we sound like robots the whole time.
Well, that's how I started this one. I was like doing the same exact spiel that I did at the beginning of the first recording, but it just wasn't going. I mean, to be fair, I do have, and this is real, like, while I'm playing these and recording the footage, I'm thinking about, like, what am I going to say about this during this part? And it almost never happens that I actually say what I'm thinking when I'm playing it.
Having watched, since I've been watching these episodes as they come out, I also have thoughts like this. I'm like, the conversation we're having, is this the conversation my brother wants to be having? Or would he rather be talking about something else right now because he's looking at something, he's like, God, I wish I'd been able to talk about that.
Well, that's the thing, is that I record footage and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to look at that so that I have a prompt for me to talk about. But then we get into a conversation and it's like, well, I don't want to stop the flow of the conversation because it's genuinely interesting. So it's just the compromise I make.
This episode's going to be fascinating. This is our creative process episode that we made unintentionally.
Yeah.
Laid a trap to capture the scourge of hell, insatiable even by the vanquishing of the Great One.
This is a cool skeleton.
Sought to prey in the tombs of the Bloodkeep.
Dark Soul stuff.
Look at that skull. Can't really see it. It's a little dark. Oh, well.
Brought down the temple upon the Doomslayer, and in his defeat,
Maybe I'll just make the thumbnail like skull.
There you go.
So you can't miss it when you click on the video.
the mark of the Doomslayer was burned upon his crypt, a warning to all of hell that the terror within must never be freed. There he lies still, and evermore in silent suffering.
Yep, so they trap Doom Guy in a cursed sarcophagus or something.
This is my brother, everyone, who's really into Doom lore.
Yeah.
He's in a sarcophagus or something.
I mean, he is. I mean, that's where the game starts.
So is his sarcophagus-ing from Doom 64 or sometime between Doom 64 and this game?
It's between. Doom 64 just ends with him deciding to stay in hell forever so that he can kill demons and protect Earth or whatever. And this game starts with him waking up in a sarcophagus, which... So we don't know... I mean, this lore explains that while he was in hell, the demons trapped him in that sarcophagus, and he... I just realized I forgot to subtitle that. While I'm talking about it, because it's going to be fixed by the time the video comes out. Anyways, yeah, he gets trapped, and the demons trap him, and then some indeterminate time between Doom 64 and him getting trapped, then he gets trapped, and then there's some indeterminate time between him getting trapped and this game beginning.
Okay.
I think there is, if you ask the true lore hounds, there's probably a timeline that exists. They probably mention years at some point, and you can piece it together, but I wouldn't know. I'm not that guy.
Also, it doesn't matter.
It does. Well, that's why I'm not that guy. It matters to somebody, but not to me.
Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Doom Guy share a little bit of
attitude.
Yes, where it don't matter. None of this matters.
Yes. Doom Guy's here for one express purpose.
And he shares that with Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Exactly, yeah. He's just here to kick ass. Doom Guy's not even here.
Gum.
Yeah, Doom Guy's not even out here chewing bubblegum, okay? He doesn't have time for bubblegum.
Where Duke Nukem thought, the creators of Duke Nukem thought that Duke Nukem was a distilled mascot of everything action-oriented. It turns out they were wrong.
Yeah. Well,
you think Duke Nukem's influence was received so poorly that it led to the rise of the silent protagonist in FPSs?
That's an interesting question. I don't think so. I think Duke Nukem was very well received, if you want my honest opinion.
I mean, back in the 90s for sure.
Yeah. So you would think that would lead to more talky protagonists. It just didn't. I think it was just the case of it's difficult to have First of all, you need a voice like John St. John that's like very iconic, and then you have to have lines that are good. And the secret to Duke Nukem's success was that all his lines were stolen. So
Duke Nukem came at the perfect time in the zeitgeist.
It did. There was no opportunity for Duke Nukem better than the time that it came out.
And then the two things that killed Duke Nukem were, one, time, and two, Duke Nukem Forever being delayed forever.
Yeah. I still think Duke Nukem would have some relevancy if, Duke Nukem Forever came out in a timely fashion and was good. Because there is something to be said about the parody pastiche of masculine, action hero macho guy. That is still a funny concept, and it's funny in the tongue-in-cheek way where it's still fun to play those games, but it's also, obvious that they're making fun of that thing. In a wink and a nod kind of way. Whereas Doom is the intellectual's pastiche, okay? It's not obviously a pastiche, but it is when you start to consider all the facets of it. It is ridiculous, and it doesn't pretend not to be ridiculous. It's just it never winks at you. It takes itself seriously the whole time, including giving stupid synonymous names to its protagonist. Absurd names like Hellwalker and Doomslayer, which is just hilarious.
Do you think they picked Hellwalker because it sounds like Daywalker, and they like Blade, who is also
it's possible
murderous of his of evil entities?
I would not put it past some amount of influence from that. They do. Samuel Hayden in one of the earlier episodes does say something like the only non-demon that's able to walk between dimensions. So Doom Guy has some sort of special ability to survive hell inherently. They also do mention that they mention a wretch in the lore dump, the first lore dump in this video. Oh, also it's a boss fight. That the wretch gave him armor, but I don't know if they're actually literally talking about his armor, his Praetor suit, or if they're talking about some other more mystical ability to survive. Anyways, this boss fight, this guy has a shield, and you gotta hit him when his shield goes down. That's about it.
Wait, the wretch has armor?
The wretch made him armor.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Come on, man. You gotta pay attention to these lore dumps that are very boring.
I love dry textbook stuff in video games. It definitely doesn't hurt the momentum at all.
You know what's fucked up is that in the game, when you touch those lore tabs, you have to stand next to them to hear them. They have a audio radius. If you walk away from them, they stop talking. So I've edited the video where I walk away from them, but I just cut the audio in so that... Because standing there and just listening to someone talk at you is awful.
It sure is. See, this is my issue with verbosity, Hellwalker and whatever the other one is, Doomslayer. Sure. It's just it feels like that, but in I don't know, like language form instead of information consumption form.
No, like a wise William Shakespeare once said, "Brevity is the soul of wit," which just means don't waste my time.
Like the wise William Shatner once said,
"Yeah,
to be or not to be."
I am the Rocket Man.
Like William Shakespeare once said, "Kill us both, Spock."
There's two of them. I will say that my momentum for the boss fight is worse. It was better in the first take.
Oh. Well, If this were Duke Nukem, he'd have some like dry, awful, boring joke that's offensive about threesomes.
Yeah. Something about the last time I had twins, it was better than this.
Fuck.
That's pretty good,
man.
Right?
Yeah, it's so like Letterman-y. I feel ashamed for laughing at that.
No, it's good. I love hacky jokes.
That's the Duke Nukem I can actually appreciate.
Yeah, it's not, the quality in hackiness, if you ask me. Which, I mean, again, this is why I like Fred Durst. Not to go back to a topic that our audience has no idea what we're talking about. But,
see, and that leads me back to the Rob Zombie thing. Is he also has some hackneyed stuff that I love, but then he also has some self-serious stuff that I just don't love.
Yeah, well, going back to that, that's why I find Fred Durst so much more fascinating, because his self-serious stuff is, like, bizarre. Whereas Rob Zombie's self-serious stuff is, like, very straightforward and shallow, and, like, I understand it just by looking at it. Fred Durst is very hard to understand at a surface level, which is... or, I should say, his serious stuff is hard to understand at a surface level, which is why it's so fascinating to me.
Rob Zombie, if you're listening, I'd love to have a conversation with you about how you got to Lords of Salem versus how you got to the Halloween remake. These are two very different things, and I need to know what.
And the Munsters. I need to know about the Munsters, bro.
Well, Rob Zombie did a Munsters thing?
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
It came out like 2 years ago or last year or something. It's fucking wild, dude. It's so nuts. Actually, maybe I do love Rob Zombie now that I think about it.
We've all learned something today.
Yep. Okay, back to Mars.
So what's with these Master Chiefs after you pull the esophagus out of the pedestal?
I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we'll find out in the next game. Spoilers, we don't find out in this game. Well, we kind of do. We'll find out later.